Sanimonani YouTube. My name is Zizile Makubela and I create beauty and lifestyle content and everything YouTube good. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we are doing this simple, basic makeup look. It is a beginner-friendly tutorial. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into it. Okay, so first things first, we have to start on a clean canvas. So I'm gonna use my Garnier micellar water to cleanse my face. I'm gonna use a cotton pad to wipe off any dirt that might be on my face because we're trying to get a clean canvas. As you can see, there was a little bit of dirt there, and I took my palettes just to shy more, just to dry my face. And then primer. So I'm going to use the Essence Glow Serum Primer, and what a primer does, it's important because it keeps the makeup on, and honestly I believe it protects your skin and just keeps it alive underneath all of that makeup. Okay, so let's use that primer. And then here I was just moisturizing my lips because child, I felt like they were dry. Okay, so let's move on to brows. Okay, so now we're going to get into our eyebrows, and for the eyebrows I'll be using the Essence Cosmetics eyebrow pencil. It's brown in color. This is how it looks like. Very nice, very sharp. It is new. I just bought it today. And then I'm going to use the Got To Be Hair Glued. Okay, y'all, I switched back to voiceover because I tried the talking thing and it wasn't working for me. So yeah, here we are. So I take a little bit of the glue. As you can see, I've placed it on the spoolie or brush or whatever it is that you're using, and I am going to use it to brush up my eyebrows. I did speed this up because time, and you just brush them upwards just like so, as you can see, and then press them in using your fingers. Just like press it in. This is to help give your brows a laminated effect and just to keep the eyebrows in place. Honestly, please do the step, it really helps. Okay, now that we are done with prep, let's draw on this eyebrows. So you're gonna start by drawing a line that's basically going to guide you. Just make sure that you are drawing the shape that you essentially want. So what I do is I draw a straight line, and unfortunately this pencil, I think it was dry, so it wasn't drawing quite well, but essentially I just do like a straight line and then I carve it downwards, and then I do the same for the top. It's a straight line and then I carve it downwards as well. If you can pay close attention, you can see that I did not start drawing for the upper brow right there at the beginning. I started right in the middle just so it can give like that natural effect type thing. And also I do have eyebrow hairs naturally, so I was just essentially filling them in. I am not speeding this up because I believe that it is important that you see exactly how I did this. And yeah, that's how I did it. The other side of camera, and this is how it looks. As you can see, I didn't trim or tweeze my brows, but I did ignore that and I lifted the eyebrows just a little bit, which always gives it a nice effect. I don't know, I just like it like that. And then I took my spoolie, the brush that I used to brush the beginning of the eyebrows again, just to make it more blended and come off a little less harsh, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, do that, sis. The next step is cleaning up the brows or carving out the brows. I'm going to use my Kryolan Derma color D12 in the shade D12, and that's how it looks like on my brush. I'm using an angled brush, and you can use concealer for this or foundation, whatever works for you, but I highly recommend this Derma color from Kryolan. I'm using the shade D12 as I have said, and I am just basically slowly but surely just taking my time carving out the shape that I want. And as you can see, I'm just simply following the outline that I have already drawn with the pencil, and make sure to lift your eyebrows up while you're doing this, just to make sure you're getting like really clean lines. The most important thing I can tell you is just to focus and pay attention on detail. Make sure that that line is as straight as you can get it. Take a step back like I just did there. Look at the mirror from different angles, just to make sure that like you have it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is very important. And yeah, also use a color that is lighter, as you can see here. You have to use a lighter color. You can use concealer, as I've said, or foundation, whatever it is that works for you. I did the same thing on the other side, and then I'm gonna go back into my Kryolan palette and I'm gonna go into D16. It's a little bit darker, and if you've noticed, I have left some spaces at the beginning of the brow, and this is the space where I am going to use the darker concealer, foundation, whatever it is, to basically do the same thing. I am still carving out the shape. I'm just using the brown, the darker shade, so that it can connect better when I contour. And you'll see why. Okay, just make sure that you're raising your eyebrows again. Make sure your lines are as straight as possible. Make sure that you're paying attention to detail. Make sure that you are also blending, in the sense that you don't want any harsh lines whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? So yes, keep that in mind as you do this step. It is very important. So I'm playing this in real time also, just so you can see exactly what was happening. Again, you can see I'm taking a step back. I'm looking at the brows. Do I like them? Do I not? You know, you do that too. So now that you're done cleaning up your brows with your concealer, you're going to go in with this small fluffy brush. I'm using this angled brush. I think it's from Hermosa. And I'm raising my brows up, and then I am going to then blend out the foundation. So as you can see, I'm using dabbing motions. I'm also using swiping motions, because with this foundation, it is very thick. It is extremely thick. So even if you slide while blending and you don't exactly do the dabbing motions, it's still gonna blend just fine. So important, you have to blend the lighter parts first and then the darker parts. Okay, and then I'm gonna also just blur out that line emkhathini. Like I said, it's very important to pay attention to detail and make sure that everything is blended from the get-go. Okay, to clean up the top of my brows, I'm gonna go back into my Kryolan palette. I'm gonna use the colors D17 and 16 to clean up the top of my brow. So you have to use the color that is closest to your skin tone, or the color of the foundation that you are going to use to clean the top brows. And then once I'm done with that, I go back with the small fluffy brush that I used at the beginning, just to blend out any harsh lines or any harsh edges, so my job is easier when I put on the foundation. So in this clip, I am quickly showing you how to use the foundation that I'm using, which is the Derma color from Kryolan. You basically have to break it down at the back of your hand using a brush, just like you see me doing here, before you use it. Okay, and then obviously we don't waste product in this house. I went ahead and put on the excess product on the brush on my face, and then I'm gonna use a dense and big fluffy brush. It's not that big, as long as it's dense and fluffy, it will work perfectly. And please ask Jajan here, because this brush is dirty, because I did use it, but I used it all myself, and I'm not gonna wash my brush after one use. Like, are you serious? No way. So yeah, I put on the foundation. I actually mixed D17 and 16, and I was trying to show y'all how I dab the product with the brush, but I couldn't quite get it well on camera. But basically, I dab the brush on the mixed product. It's not mixed with anything, by the way. and then I just use the brush to apply the foundation on my face. As you can see, the way that I'm blending, there's no particular way that I'm doing it. There's no particular motion that I'm using. I'm just dabbing it in, swiping, just getting it all over my face. Literally, this is what I love about this foundation, is the fact that you can just blend anyhow, and it's perfect for beginners. And as you can see, before, after, great foundation. Right. Moving on to highlighting, you have to highlight your face so you're not one dimensional. And so what I did was I took D12 from that same Kryolan palette and I put it underneath my eyes as a base. You do not have to do the step. I just like doing it. And then next I'm gonna conceal using my Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 50, and I am going to highlight underneath my eyes, the bridge of my nose, my forehead, my cupid's bow, and my chin. And yeah, just like that, just like so. Okay, once you've placed the concealer at the right places, you're gonna go ahead and let it sit for a bit, shaiselo moy a little bit, whatever you're gonna do, and then you're gonna start blending. For the first part of blending, I'm gonna use the very same brush that I was using, and this time around, please notice that I am using dabbing motions. Dab, dab, dab. I am pushing the concealer into my skin. I am not swiping like I was doing with the foundation, going everywhere. No, this time around, because it's concealer and it's liquid, I don't want it to move everywhere. And because you left it to be tacky a little bit, make sure that you have like a good minute before you start blending. It won't move everywhere, but still use those dabbing motions. And then for this part, I am going to use the sponge, and there really isn't a big reason behind this. It's just that I wanted to show you how to use both. So when I use the sponge, as you can see, the sponge was clean. I had washed it, so I put a bit of concealer behind my hand, and then I dab the sponge into the concealer behind my hand. I'm doing this so that it doesn't leave any patches once I start blending on my face, because that can happen since it was damped with water. Okay, right. So when you start blending, make sure you blend the edges first, as you see me doing here. Yeah, I'm using blender my edges, and if blender corner, I am dabbing the concealer in. Say it with me now. Dab the concealer in. Do not swipe your makeup away. Push it into your skin. Okay, so when you blend the nose, you can pinch your beauty blender, and then it's the same dabbing motions again. So don't worry about the concealer that I left on my under eye that I haven't blended yet. That part, I blend that part last because I want it to be as tacky as possible, soak into the skin as much as possible. That is the reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and proceed to blending out that concealer that I had left there. And as you can see, I'm looking up, I'm looking crazy, Kilimanjaro here and there. But you gotta make sure that you get the product everywhere. So it's important to stretch out your face so that your skin can stretch out and you can get the product everywhere. And just make sure that you blend. Now we are going to set all of those things that we just put, and we are going to use the Yardley loose powder. So you're gonna dab your sponge into the powder like so and dust it off, and it should look something like this. Yep, stretch out your eyes, babe, stretch out your face. And then as you can see, there was actually more product on the sponge than I would have liked, so that's why you see me like just dabbing quickly everywhere, and then I blend again the same way that I was blending. I blend again with the loose powder. This is to set the concealer. It's liquid, and I feel like anything that's like liquidy that you put on your face, you kind of sort of have to set, you know, so that it can stay in place. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm basically just setting the concealer. So I'm putting the powder everywhere that I put the concealer. Okay, and as much as the foundation that I used is not really liquid, I still set it using the same setting powder. You can use a powder that is closer to your skin tone, but usually the setting powder that you use either way will work. So yeah, you do that. You just blend everywhere with the setting powder. Yes, girl. Period. And yeah, guys, like I can't play the entire video, but as you see me, you don't even see what I'm blending, but like you must do that. Exactly what I'm doing here. Just do it. Like just blend your life away. You know what I'm saying? And then in this house we believe in reverse contouring. Okay, I know this is a beginner tutorial, but you know what, it's 2023, so everybody's gonna reverse contour. Okay, let's get it. So basically you do what you see me doing here. You put the loose powder at the sides of your nose like you saw me doing, and the middle of your nose, and then take a small fluffy brush. I'm using that brush that I used at Kryolan, remember, to clean my eyebrows, to like blend my eyebrows. I'm using that brush, and a dark powder that you will use for contouring. This powder must be at least one tone darker than your foundation. And then remember the thing we did with the eyebrows? Exactly, girl. This is what we're doing for the contour. We are child, I play too much. I play too much. Okay, let's let this pause. So yeah, you take the brush with the powder on it, and then you basically just place it right at the beginning of your eyebrows. Raise your eyebrows up so that you make sure that you get it just right. Precision is important. And then I am going to take it down my nose and right in the middle of the baking powder, the setting powder. Remember, we put it on the sides and on the middle, so you are just literally defining that specific line. And then as soon as I'm done with that, I repeat the first step that I took, which is placing the powder on the sides, the loose powder on the sides, just like so. Also make sure that the lines are straight as well. Sise lapho, we'll move on to contouring. I'm using this fluffy big brush. It's more of a medium brush, but it is fluffy. So I'm gonna go back on that. What is this product that I'm using? I'm gonna go back to that product, and then I am going to contour, and I'm basically putting the powder onto my cheeks. What do you call these things where I'm putting the powder? I forgot what it's called, like that part of the face. Is it a cheekbone? I don't know, but like that. And then I also go over my edges a little bit with the powder. Whether you have an install on or it's just your natural edges, just do that. I also went in with the foundation brush that I used. This is to take out like the shine from the edges, because once you have makeup and you have a matte face and shiny edges, child, it looks a bit off. Okay, let's not do that. But if you like it, then fine. But like, I'm just saying, like, yeah, we don't do that in this house. So yeah, we are still on the contouring. We want to bring back some warmth into the face, so I'm gonna go into my Modern Dolls coral palette. I'm gonna use the orange and the other color that's next to the orange. I don't know what it is. but that color. And I love this step so much. As you can see, it's a subtle difference, but it is different. You know, that other side was warmer than the other one before I put on the orange. So yeah, I really love this step. It's just perfect, especially for dark skinned women. Right after that, we are on the reverse contouring again. Yes, we're doing it, and you must do it too. Just like so. So basically, what you do is you can take more products in, and then that is how you gauge the line from that earlobe thing. What is this thing, Leila? I'm cutting, whatever that is that you see me showing you. Do it like that. Exactly, Mtase. Exactly, my babe. Yes. Yeah, exactly like that. So right after putting the powder, I mean right after, immediately after, I took a big fluffy brush and I swiped off the excess powder, just like so. Make sure that you're also blending in the line. You don't want the line to be too visible. Like, it should be there but not really, you know what I'm saying? So like, just dust that off just like so, and we are done with the powders for now. Next, we are going to warm up the eyelids. So I'm going to go into this Hermosa Flow Cosmetics palette. I'm gonna use the color Chastity. It is a dark, deep dark brown, and I'm gonna use it to basically contour my eyes. And I'm using the same brush. Remember the brush that I used to contour my nose, and the brush that I used to clean up the concealer, to blend the concealer? I'm using that brush, that very same brush, and I took a little product. As you can see, it's not really showing off as much, even though that is a pigmented palette, because I took a little amount, and then I basically used wind wiper motions to put it on the eyelid, just like you see me doing. You do it, you know. And I did it on the other eye, basically just circular motions, wind wiper motions, until you feel like, damn, it's really blended, it really looks good. And then for that extra pizzazz, just to elevate the look just a little bit, I'm gonna go into the other shade. I'll write it on the screen, and it's a lighter shade. It's a brownish lighter shade, and I am going to, using the same brush, put it on just the edge, right in between the brown and my eyebrows. And this is just to help the makeup look even more seamless. It's basically you helping the eyeshadow transition, and honey, it's looking good. Yep. Moving swiftly towards the end of this tutorial, I'm gonna use the setting spray to spray all over my face to set all of the powder that I just used. And I'm going to take that same setting spray and the beauty blender that I used to spray it on there, just like so. And I'm gonna use that to set the underneath of my eyes, because I just feel like the spray doesn't reach there as much as I want it to reach there. And you're gonna proceed to dab in the spray into your entire face, just like so. I went on to apply some mascara and eyeliner off camera, and added some beauty spots. That actually is, I do have a natural beauty spot right up my lips, and I just added a few more that I don't naturally have. I really just like doing this. It elevates the look. And then a trick when you do the spots is that you have to like basically just touch them like that. Exactly. So yeah, you're basically blending them but not really, you know. You just touch it once and you are good. And last but not least, we're gonna do the lips. I'm gonna use my Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink in the shade 50, and I'm gonna start by lining my lips. So before I lined my lips, I actually wiped off all of the excess makeup that fell on my lips while I was doing my makeup. So I started with a clean canvas for the lips, and that's what I like to do. And we have arrived at the end, friends. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. Thanks for watching. Bye.